Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Dwarves. Let us continue. Sorry, some of the effects here, it's like, is there a lightsaber going around in the background there? It's like, what the hell?
Fracas made us from stone to brick.
Okay, should hit load rather than campaign. That's a new game button. Cleverly? Oh, no look here, folks. Alright, let's go here.
You see a light through the trees some way from the path. It inevitably brings to mind your encounter with the woodcutters. You tell the dwarves about your encounter with the woodcutters and how you ran away, as starting a fight with them wasn't part of your mission.
Ah, then I'll make it my mission. Humans are not our enemies, Boindil.
You must confess that you'd have liked to have taught the woodcutters a lesson, but Boendal is right.
Beating up humans is not our mission.
But
A harsh glance from you and Boendal silences Boindil. You continue on your way with the furious Boindil trailing behind.
Well, there was no reason to beat them up. Like, they didn't do harm to us. They were just shady. So we left. I feel like the way it happened implied that we actually interacted with them. It was a bit deeper. But, no, like, this encounter presumed that more happened than actually did. Which is a little annoying.
By the evening campfire, Boindil rummages around in his rucksack and pulls out a cheese wrapped in a cloth.
I'm not ready for another
He
fight.
sticks a fist-sized piece on a spit and grills it on the fire.
there's nothing better than grilled cheese at the end of a long day.
The smell it gives off makes you hold your breath.
Oh, it smells like my socks after weeks of marching in my boots.
Oh, picky, are you? Hardly surprising, considering you were brought up by humans. It's ruined your taste.
Boindil holds the stinky cheese at the end of the stick under your nose.
Eat, and stop complaining.
You pull the warm piece of cheese from the stick. It tastes dreadful. Your fingers will smell of it for the next few days, and probably your mouth will too. Several wagons full of building materials pass you by on the way to Goodwater. The village's fortifications still show evidence of the orcs' attack, but they are making good progress with the repair work.
There they are, the dwarves, Goodwater's saviours. Come in. There's always a warm meal and a welcoming bed for you here. I could get used to this.
Ah, good. I do want to go help, but I need to heal up party. Nope, everyone's fully healed now. I could, Let's see, I could... Ooh, his Iron Heart. Brundle's Iron Heart can awaken due to damage. He can deal a huge amount of damage for a short period of time, but can't be controlled anymore. Ah, that's why I lost control of him on occasion. I was puzzled. Ooh, never loses more than 5% of his maximum health at a stroke. That's nice. I wish these were just like constant effects, but that would probably be too powerful. Actually, yeah, I should give that to you. You can take that. Oh. And you can get this. Because... I know, that's probably better. I'm not really putting much thought to it, I'm just going by instinct. Let's just keep on our path. I want to go to that fight, but... Tavern.
You arrive at a crossroads with a tavern on the corner. A warm light is
Don't have the
emanating
food.
from its window, lighting up the road around it. A stone sculpture of a sheep stands in front of the door, and above it a sign, swaying gently in the breeze, reads, "The Stone Sheep." You observe the surroundings, but the road is empty, and no one leaves the tavern. You notice a broken window on the first floor, which has been boarded up with planks. Something wet drips onto your nose, and you look up to the cloudy sky with a bad-tempered expression.
Huh. Why are we standing here and just getting wet from the outside?
You enter the tavern with a determined stride, and are greeted by a thick wall of pipe smoke. The dozen or so drinkers at the tables turn towards you, then give each other astonished and slightly worried looks. You walk to the nearest empty table with the twins in tow and sit down. The landlord comes out from behind the bar.
What can I get you?
You hear surly muttering from one of the tables.
What are groundlings doing showing their faces here, now of all times?
Oh, we can ask about the two that got killed. Let's ask this first.
You turn to the guest who'd muttered something about groundlings.
And why is it so strange that we're here?
The man glances up briefly, and then stares drunkenly at his tankard, and mutters with a slur,
Don't play the innocent. The orcs are terrorizing our lands. And whose fault is it? You let them in.
I was not at the Stone Gateway, and I don't know what happened. But you can be sure of one thing. Dwarves would never cooperate with orcs. We kill them no sooner than we say them, or my name isn't Boindle Doubleblade.
The drunkard and his neighbour are given a start. They mumble an apology, and turn their attention to the beer in front of them.
It's either due to his outburst, or maybe the dude has a bit of a name. It's hard to know. Well, it's probably the outburst, but... I know, a mad dwarf running around acting like a fucking Warhammer Fantasy Slayer without being a Slayer would probably achieve some some degree of notoriety. If you don't know what Warhammer a Slayer is, basically dwarves in Warhammer Fantasy are very wrapped up in grudges, honor, and whatnot. And say if one dwarf fucks up in a particularly egregious way, by their own standings, kinslaying or whatever, they can take the oath of the Slayer, where they want to die heroically in battle. They want to die a good death. They want to die in battle, but they have to earn the death by fighting tremendous beasts and monsters. The Gotrek and Felix books follow Gotrek, Dwarven Slayer. He fights a Chaos Troll in one book. He fights a coven, and well, at the start of the first book, he fights a coven of Chaos Cultists. And some beastmen, mooks that were attached to it. It's been a while since I read that part. You know, but yeah, they go out seeking a glorious death in battle. They wear negligible armor, and favor 2 axes, maybe one big one, and are quite reckless and dangerous. they also have giant red mohawks. So, yeah. This guy basically hits most of those notes, minus the wanting to die part. And the presumably grievous crime.
Did two travellers pass this way? One was a famulus, the other a mercenary.
The landlord shakes his head indifferently and mumbles something incoherently. One of the guests is about to say something, but shuts up when the person next to him gives him a poke. You stand up and turn to the room.
This round's on me.
The faces of the guests and the landlord brighten up immediately. The landlord gets to work pulling everyone a beer and handing out the tankards. Some of the guests say cheers to you as they get their drinks.
Come on now, tell us what happened. We're all friends here.
The man who was going to speak the first time round looks over to his neighbour, who nods.
Two travellers spent the night here. One had a robe on, the other was a mercenary. The next day they left, all in a hurry. Said they'd been attacked by an elf.
One of
Alf!
the other
What?
drinkers finds his voice too.
There was a hell of a lot of noise that night. As if there'd been a dust-up.
You left some gold here for the trouble. I thought they meant the noise, but then I noticed the broken window.
The landlord sighs.
Please don't tell anyone else about this. Who will want to spend a night in a tavern where an elf has been sighted?
People really hate that show here. Like, knowing that Alf has been at this tavern would scare them off. I've never actually seen the show beyond some clips. I just know that was a show. Wow, really? Yes. Fine. I like how I would sell that.
We're tired and long for a proper bed.
Of course, gentlemen.
You spend a restful night in the tavern and then head off on your way again.
You get a little bits of XP for even social encounters, so even if you miss fights, you don't fall as far behind. So, it's something. And now we do have enough food.
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall. You enter the city and the garrison at its centre without being spoken to. It is only when you reach a heavy oak door that leads, you assume, to the commanding officer's headquarters, that you are halted by a guard.
Dwarves, eh? Seems we aren't to be spared anything these days. What do you want?
It looks like you've got an orc problem.
Had. Our scouts detected the army early on, and we were able to repel them without any great losses. A small army of orcs like that couldn't breach our mighty walls.
Your mighty walls look like they're about to collapse under their own weight.
The soldier isn't intimidated by Boindil. He juts his chin out confidently.
At least they stopped the orcs, unlike your dwarven walls in the north.
Like, see, he's got a bit of that mohawk going there. Not nearly as mad as Felix's, though. His is like at least the height of a head, I would say, going by the distant look I'm getting at the novel cover. Novel covers are rarely accurate, though. If you look, a lot of people pointed out the Caiaphas Cain novels. Caiaphas would never be caught posing like that. Or, you know, whatever. So... But I suppose there's a difference in posing and, you know, length of hair or whatnot. But you get my point.
I didn't know that Steepleton was so big. Impressive place.
We have fertile meadows. That's what we have to thank for the city's growth in recent years. At the time of my grandparents, Steepleton was nothing more than the tower on a hill with a couple of houses. Now we have a market, a temple, and of course, there are royal messengers stationed in the tower, which doesn't do the city's coffers any harm at all.
You said you had messengers here. I'd like to send a carrier pigeon to Lot Yonan in Yonandar.
Lot Yonan in Yonandar. No problem. It will cost you 90 gold pieces.
If the carrier pigeon delivers my message safely to Lot Yonan, then it's worth its weight in gold.
Then I'll send for a scribe. You can dictate your message and
Thank you, but I can write it myself. Paper and ink will be sufficient.
The guard nods. You don't blame him for thinking you are illiterate. Very few ordinary folk can read or write. Once you've been given the writing implements, you write down a summary of what happened at the meeting of the Alf and the Orcs.
I can't take that name seriously. An Alf? It's just, again, I'm just... Replace all these dark elves with, Alf from that TV show. And there you go. This thing takes on a very different image. It's quite hysterical, really. Oh.
I must speak with your commander.
Commander Valor doesn't have time. He's still very busy dealing with the aftermath of the Orc attack.
Commander Valor is dealing with the Orc problem, and I have important information concerning it. I witnessed a meeting of the Orc Lords.
The guard eyes you with interest and tries to judge whether you can be trusted. Finally, he stands up, opens a door, and enters the room ahead of you. The commander looks up from his work. The guard repeats what you told him.
Your information about the Orcs could be useful. We have fought them back, but not yet defeated them. Come in.
The commander listens attentively, and now and then asks questions, as you tell him about the 3 Orc armies, and the meeting of the chieftains with the Alf Sintharas.
This sounds very grave. I will send out messengers. We must be prepared.
The Orc army that attacked you was able to escape.
What was left of it? They headed south. Unfortunately, I can't send anyone after them until the damage to the wall is repaired.
The commander looks at you with a disgruntled expression. It suddenly seems clear to him who he has standing in front of him.
If you're interested, you could try and wipe out the mob that got away and collect the bounty.
Killing pig noses and getting paid for it? Where's the heads?
You grin at Boindil, and then turn back to the commander.
We'll see what we can do. We must press on. Farewell, Commander Valor.
Kill as many Orcs as you can, Dwarves. Palanai will be with you.
So I guess it's disband? Yeah. We'll head there in a sec.
You approach Scalebrook through its expansive fields, and spot smoke rising up into the sky. A short while later, you can hear the cries of battle, and finally you can smell the tallow on the Orc's armor. Scalebrook is at war.
Damn it, cables. Cooperate. Yeah, everyone's fine.
Quick, we have to help those people.
Save the villagers before the orcs kill 10 of them. Say 15. Do that. If you tread the needle, even if it's a single target attack, you can hit 2. Or Yes. You just have to make sure you're not hovering over one, because then it throws your estimate off.
Huh? Come here, you! What is it? Yes?
You hit him.
Yes?
Okay, it feels like my threading the needle didn't quite work.
Attack! And what now? Yes, yes!
I still don't know where he got his shield
What
from.
is it? With pleasure.
He hardly put up a fight.
Yes? Huh?
Yes?
Who's next?
Find somewhere safe to hide. We'll come back for you once we've saved the other villagers. Uh-huh.
Huh? On my way!
Kill!
Oh, what bad luck for you! As good as done!
Oop.
And what is it now? Come here, you!
Yes?
Yes? Say goodbye forever! Pow! Another one bites the dust! On my way! As good as done!
Huh? At once. Uh-huh.
Of course! Understood.
Come on, move.
End it! Of course!
I think I accidentally killed one of the villagers myself.
That's it! They're fleeing! I don't think so, they're just rallying!
And that's what we should do too. Come on.
Thank you so much. You saved us.
Not yet. The orcs are rallying. You must join us.
But we can't.
You must. Here they come.
Okay, Brondil. Do that.
Yes?
3. Do that.
Put up a fight.
See, we're able to cleave a few there.
Uh-huh. For Vracus.
Yeah! What is it?
At once.
Attack!
Yes?
Huh?
We do want to take... Oh,
With pleasure. Oh, what bad luck for you! All right.
we do want to keep the pressure off the... off the humans.
Another one bites the dust.
Yes?
What is it?
Huh?
And what now? I didn't hit you very hard. What is it? Yes? And what now?
Yes?
Yeah!
Understood.
End it!
Uh-huh.
Huh?
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 Ah, his Dara I activated.
Hard. Yeah!
Direheart, that was it.
Yes,
Ireheart, oi.
with pleasure.
Stop hitting the humans.
Pow! Another one bites the dust. Who's next? Huh?
The friendly fire kind of annoys me.
What is it? Of course.
Understood. At once. On my way.
What?
Who's noisy?
At once.
There's humans fighting behind the village over there. I don't know why they were over there.
Boindale still hunts the last of the orcs through the alleyways of the village. You and Boindale are already helping search for survivors. Various villagers, all with shocked, ashen faces, come and thank you for saving them. A middle-aged man nervously steps from one foot to the other and tries to force a smile.
My father, the village elder, he is dead. I think I must follow in his footsteps, so I thank you in the name of Scalebrook. He left behind some gold as a dowry for my sister. She's...
The man bows his head, produces a leather pouch, and kneads it with trembling hands.
If only you'd come earlier.
But before you can reply, the man takes a deep breath and forces himself to look at you.
What am I saying? How ungrateful. Thanks to you, many of us are still alive. My daughter may be able to marry one day, thanks to your bravery.
The man hesitates briefly, then thrusts the leather pouch towards you.
We won't accept your gold. Bury your dead, rebuild your village, and be a good father to your daughter.
Boindale looks at you, and you think you can see an approving nod. The man opens his mouth to say something, but then he just shakes his head and finally starts again.
I thank you, dear sir, but there is no way I can let you go with empty hands. Here, take this. My father bought it from a trader, one of your kind.
I was imagining he would probably approve. Potion, some provisions, a bit of gold, and nothing else. Imagine the potions. The reward. Oh, I can't go back in. Wasn't there a bounty? Or were they not the orcs?
You see a camp with a wagon and two people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Black Saddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away. Two horses are standing near the covered wagon, grazing. You can make out the shapes of boxes and barrels on the wagon. The two humans are wearing smart clothes and are sitting next to a large campfire. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away.
Hello, friends. Is there any space by your fire?
The two traders look up and visibly jump when they see you three dwarves.
Ah, hello. Yes, of course.
It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness, but you take up their offer and sit down. The twins follow your example.
We're only travelers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Blacksaddle. A hermit.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
If they live here, they must be mad.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed and we must have driven them too hard.
Why does Blacksaddle make you feel uneasy? It doesn't look particularly inviting, but it's only a mountain.
Only a mountain? You don't know the legend?
The trader looks at you and the twins for affirmation, but you all shake your heads.
Blacksaddle was once known as Cloudpiercer, and it towered up into the heavens, the upper slopes of pure gold and the summit covered in snow. The humans wanted to attain this wealth, but the smooth slopes and the dazzling summit made the climb impossible. They called on the dwarves to help them. They were able to tunnel up through Cloudpiercer to the top. They hollowed it out and carried away the gold. The humans demanded that the treasure be shared, but the dwarves refused, and as they argued, the mountain began to tremble. There were too many holes inside for it to hold together. It collapsed and buried both greedy parties underneath it. The mountain lost its tremendous size and its beauty, and ever since has haunted both humans and dwarves with its erosive hatred, causing even the rocks to turn black over time.
Pfft. Never heard of it. Sounds like human tittle-tattle. Dwarves would never hollow out a mountain so much that it collapses.
They could have been just very overly greedy and... No, forgot about physics for a moment.
You come from Parista. How are things there?
No news to speak of, I'd say. Well, except for Nudin the Knowledge Lusty.
You know Nudin the Knowledge Lusty. Lot Yonan introduced him to you many years ago during a visit.
What about him?
Oh, nothing really. Just rumors.
You nod at the trader to continue.
He's behaving strangely and disappears into his tower for days on end.
And he looks ill, apparently. Well, that's what someone I know said. Perhaps he got a spell wrong.
Is that the fat guy we saw earlier? I can't remember. To be honest, he was hideous to look at. Like, this art style is fine for most of the characters I've seen, but I would want him to stand back, you know, have a 10-foot pole in between us. Just... ugh.
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the campfire, you all decide to sleep, but you take the first watch. It's a night in which nothing happens, and the next morning the traders set off early. After breakfast, you also continue on your journey.
The birds look less like birds and more like insects. They may indeed be insects.
After a march through the thick pine forest, Blacksaddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your journey's destination rises up before you.
Are you sure that the Famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
Alright.
Found anything? A hidden camp? A secret doorway? Gold?
No. Not yet.
I've already mildly forgotten how to play the game.
Even the dark evergreen forest seems to be afraid of the Black Mountain.
Ooh.
No trace of Garen here either. If he's close, then there must be some kind of cave somewhere in the mountain.
Almost thought I could hear someone moaning in pain there.
I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way.
What did it just say?